wanted to make a video going over into some decent detail of our process in which we go to seal and port these bags. But on these ones, these are for Pikes Peak Indian. This is a new service that we do as far as fiberglass reinforcing the OEM stock bags to give you the most rigid and best chance to produce the most bass possible for these stock Indian bags from the 2019 to current Indian Chieftains, Challengers, Roadmasters, Pursuits. You get the point. This video is probably not going to be a super in-depth how-to, but I'm going to walk you through the entire process so y'all can see just how much work goes into a set of stock Indian bags to ensure that we can get the most bass out of them, to turn these into a darn near sub enclosure, which we don't put subs in these, so I really hate to even use that word, but we are putting the Cicada Audio CMB10 S4 ferrite magnet 10s in these bags. Again, this is for Tito up at Pikes Peak Indian. This is his new bike, so he wanted the best possible solution to get the most bass. So we're going to go through and just have you guys follow along the entire process of what it really takes to do these bags. I just wanted to do this video because I think it's really important for the industry, for y'all to know just what goes into these bags, what you should do or what you should expect if you have us or you need to do your bags. Now later we're going to post this up as a service. We have had customers in the past send us their bags, but I want to touch base real quick. The down and dirty, what we can do is just sealing and porting the bags. This is where we just put the Nagy topper on top, put braces in there, the 10-inch ring, and a port and no extra fiberglass. Then what I would call, the stage 2 sealing and porting is this entire outer wall right here. If you can see it, this whole wall here from front to back would have 3 layers of fiberglass on that. And then, we would brace from the ring to that. And what that would do is that would really make this outer wall rigid, preventing it from flexing. And then we would do the topper and everything else. And then our stage 3, I guess we could call it, every single wall on this bag, front, back, both sides, and the bottom, we'll have 3 layers of glass. The bottom usually gets a lot of extra resin in it. And then we also resin up to the ring as well in the lip. And then the topper goes inside of that. We add an extra layer along this back wall of fiberglass tape. And then the cab is still the whole 9 yards. I'll explain more of that as we get through this process because this video is going to be long. And we'll just show you all of this. Like I said, it's not going to be exactly 100% DIY install series, but I'm going to show you all what goes into these bags. So along each step, I'll explain what we're doing, show you it done, and then we'll move on to the next one. So the first step is to get these bags completely disassembled and taped off. So the first step of this and what we're going to do is we're going to completely tape off this bag. So what we like to use is our paint protection film all the way around the bag. And then we will also put painter's tape up over this lip because when we fiberglass these, we'll end up fiberglassing them like all the way up to here, all the way up to the lip. Even though the topper sits down a little ways, we still do that because when we carpet over this, you really can't tell anything's been done. It looks super, super good. So we're going to paint protect everything up. We're going to get all the wiring. We're going to get the feet off of it. We're going to get the, the lock latch here out. We're going to get everything gutted in this bag on both of them. That way we can start the sanding process and then put the ring in. Once that's bonded, we'll get all the fiberglass cut and start getting it mixed up and in there. So let's get these bags all taped up and disassembled. The bags are all paint protected up. So as you can see, we have our paint protection film going all the way across here. It is on the bottoms. We even, go up over the lip, and then you can see there, we went ahead and taped over those holes because I don't want resin falling in there. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and get this whole inner bag sanded, which is very, very, very time consuming, but it's worth it. So here we go. Everything's out of it again. Painter's tape over those two, sand everything up. And then we're going to start doing the resin. So we're going to use our orbital sander and our file sander, which are over here. And we have a combination of 30 grit and 40 grit. So here's our file sander. And then we have our orbital sander as well with some pretty gnarly sandpaper. So we're going to utilize these two to get everything sanded up. So we're going to get these sanded up. Last I talked to y'all, the bags were all completely sanded, as you can see. And now we got a Nagy 10-inch ring in there. And thanks to Nagy's 90-second panel bond, that sucker's in there. We got 8 screws in here. It's panel bonded in there. The thing's never coming out. So now what we're going to be doing is, I like to start on this big wall. And we're going to mix up a bunch of resin. And we're going to completely soak this entire wall down, and then we're going to layer fiberglass. And again, we're doing this wall, the back wall, this wall, that wall, and some down at the bottom, so that way this bag is super reinforced. These things will no longer sound, they're going to sound like thump 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 like mine. So we got both bags here. Jamie over here got herself nice and dirty with some fiberglass. So what she did is right here. So these are all of our templates. So as you can see, that's a big wall. These two are each side of the Nagy ring. That is the front side and that is the back side. So what we do is there's 3 pieces per side per bag. So what we do is on the template, we have the first one cut that exact size. The next one up is about a finger width, 1/4 inch bigger. And then the third one is about a 1/2 inch bigger than the template. That way, when we're soaking it down, there's overlap, and they're all overlapping each other. So you could say in, each seam or corner, there is a couple of extra layers. And then for the bottom of the bag, I also have this tape. This is all 1.5 ounce mat. So this, I really like this because it's just a tape. It's the exact same stuff, but it just comes in a roll. So if we get down to the bottom and it's not fully covered, we'll cut some of that, run it down the middle to make sure it's good and done. So we're going to go ahead and get these bags going. This is very, very, very time consuming. We have our resin, we have our hardener, we have some mixing cups. We are all ready, so we will be back with y'all probably either during the process or once it's done. This is the perfect time now that Jamie's buttoning up this saddlebag. She's been doing all these bags herself. And make sure you pat it, so she just added the 3rd layer on that side. So as you can see, she's got the resin mixture there with the black pigment, and she is just super soaking that thing. So what I want to touch base on is when you're doing this is at least how I do it. You want to get that fiberglass super, super, super saturated. That's how it conforms to all the corners. It'll go from that white to almost clear. If you don't use any black pigment, it will go clear. We use a black pigment because it blends back into the saddlebag and looks, as you can see, all the other walls are done. We just have this one wall here and a couple strips at the bottom. So she's buttoning this up, but I just wanted to touch base real quick. You'll see that she's dabbing it and soaking the living crap out of it. I don't use rollers. Rollers like to dry up and they get hard, and sometimes they'll catch the fiberglass and yank it. You can see we got some spots we still have to touch up. It's been grabbing our shirts and stuff as we've been going. So we're gonna get this bag finished up, and then I will show you both bags side by side. And then the next step is going to be the sanding, shaving everything up, putting the topper in. And as you can see, yes, we have fiberglass right over all the OEM holes because everything's taped up. We're not worried about it because we're going to go back through, cut it out, clean it all up. We're going to clean this whole thing up before we put the topper on, but we'll get back to you. All right, these bags are all cured up, and we are going to start test fitting the topper. Now, because we added so much fiberglass on this, we've really got to cut this down almost a 1/4 inch on every single edge. Nothing to do with Nagy or the fitment or the testament to this product. It's because we added a bunch of fiberglass, and not every single bag is the same. We've noticed that some of them fit differently. It's just the construction of the bags as well. So what we've done to this point is I went ahead and drilled that port right there. We had marked that before and did a 1/8 inch bit, but went ahead and ran the big old bit through there because it's a lot easier before you put the topper on. We also went ahead and installed the OEM feet. before putting the topper on is you got to grind this corner down just a little bit because we've got so much buildup. So the feet are back on the bag as OEM. We also go through and we open up these back up as we'd fiberglassed over them. But yeah, that's where we're at with this point. I'm going to go ahead and start shaving this one down. And Jamie's over here. I've already shaved this one down to fit in here. As you can see, it's fitting oh so nicely. You want to be just below this side. So we're going to reposition this. And then what she's going to do is take the foil tape that you use for air conditioners, and we're going to go ahead and tape the whole bottom seam of this. That way we can panel bond all the way around, let it cure, and then we'll go to the next step. So we're gonna get that going, and then we'll show you these once they're panel bonded in. I know we've kind of jumped all over the place. Last we showed you was the topper, getting that all in here. So the toppers are in. As you can see, we sanded down a lot. I sanded these corners down a lot because in the past we've had issues with the latch contacting here or here. So we sanded that all down. We sanded the panel bond a little bit smoother. We tried not to get into it too much. And then what you see Jamie doing here is she's gone ahead and taped off the whole bag. Because what we're about to do is spray contact adhesive all over the inside of this. And then we're going to spray the carpet and lay the carpet down. But what I wanted to show you is here's the OEM wiring with our wiring. Goes into the bag, down, around, and back out. We super glue it in place because when we spray this whole thing, we lay the carpet up over it. So we want that to be hidden. And once we carpet this, they kind of just disappear without losing any functionality of the wiring. Plus, it gives you a little bit more wiring in the lid. It kind of works twofold. So we're going to go ahead and get the carpet installed. We'll show you that. It's a very, very fun process, and I say that with the utmost sarcasm. We use enclosure, sub-enclosure, sub-box enclosure carpet right up there. Huge, massive roll. It's stretchy. So we like to use that because we'll put it over, we'll start here, we'll stretch it really good, get almost no wrinkles whatsoever. We get a couple of back here, but it's not bad. You really can't see them. So it's just time consuming pulling and stretching. It takes two people. That's why Jamie and I are both working on this. So we'll get both bags carpeted, and then I'll come back and show you all that. And then I'll go inside and show you the braces, the cabosil, and where we put the extra layers of fiberglass along this back wall, which is super, super important because that's the hinge side. That's where the bag sees the most weight. We are at the carpeting spot. So we have a piece over there. We got a piece here. And what you see on that is contact adhesive. We have a spray gun over there. It's weldwood dab contact adhesive. So what Jamie's doing right now is she's taking the plastic off of it because this is what I absolutely love about contact adhesive. This is very common in this application, countertops and everything, because you can spray it on there and you see we got some cobwebs and stuff, but it's not a big deal. So we spray the whole thing, and contact adhesive sticks to contact adhesive. So if you tape this off just right, when we go to stick this carpet on, it's not going to stick to this. And if it does, it barely does. So what we do is we do it this way. We start up here, we stretch it down, get it nice form fitted, go to one side to the other, and then we pull it up really tight. We take our pry tools, really run it around this edge, and we take our Alpha knives and run them all the way around the edge, and it's good to go. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm not going to film that process because it's a real pain in the butt. This is one of my least favorite things to do because it takes so much patience, which Jamie can attest I don't have much of. So this is probably one of the bigger tests of what we get to do here at the business. So we're going to go and get the carpet installed. We'll show you that. Then we're going to get the speakers test fitted. Then we'll get to show you more of the inside, those beautiful insides of these bags, and then we're going to do weight comparison. So we have this bag. This bag's complete. I know the last thing we showed you was the carpet. So the carpet is in. We talked about that as far as putting the contact adhesive. I showed you that. We use contact cement. We've gone through and done everything. Just got to put the latch in here. But what I wanted to show y'all is we ended up taking the carpet back off because I made the mistake of not test fitting the 10 beforehand because we've done so many of these. We've never had an issue until now. But you can see this spot right here. That is because I had to sand this so much for the CMB 10 to get in there. We ended up burning through it. So what I ended up doing was this whole section here. We laid 3 more layers of fiberglass, and you can't really tell. Yeah, we smoothed it out enough to where you can't see it, to ensure we had solid, and that thing is stout. So we're gonna end up redoing the topper video and showing you all how we are going to be putting something along this magnet to give us like an 1/8 to 1/4 inch upsize. So when we put this in, the topper will rest on that, which then will give us a 1/4 inch once we take it off to ensure this magnet doesn't touch the topper, because it was hitting right here. As you can see, there's a little chip piece on the magnet. That's completely fine, but we just wanted to show you so you can see it contacted here, it hit here. So we've gone ahead, test fit them. We fixed the bags, and as you can see, we got our bracing there. It's panel bonded on the bottom and the top, plus we have a screw in the top. You see our 10 gauge speaker wire. We leave a service loop in there just in case. We got our 10 gauge wire. We've got our saddlebag wiring and the OEM wiring. They go up through. You see our other brace and our port. They don't contact each other super close, so this brace is close to the topper, and then obviously our port comes on the bottom, which we've shown y'all. So that is kind of the gist of how we do everything. Time has passed since that video was actually shot. Don't worry about my cool new necklace. We're going to get to that here in just a second. I didn't want to just wrap that video up where it was at, and I'm glad we took extra time before finishing up that video because some things have changed since then, but I do want to talk about a few things. So the whole point of this video was to show you the process of sealing and porting bags, which we've done an older video. This isn't going to be a step-by-step, but it's kind of showing you the entire process of, you know, taking the bag, disassembling it, taping it off, sanding it, putting the Nagy ring in there with the port and the fiberglass, the topper, the carpet, the whole shebang, and what to look for. And the reason I'm holding this right here is because in the video you see just before this, I was talking about, hey, we're going to 3D print this piece, glue it to the CMB10 and blah, blah, blah to get clearance. I realized that we've done a bunch of these. It's not time effective. It's not worth it. So I found this awesome material called TPU from the 3D printer. And what's cool about this is it's like a rubber gasket. So as you can see, it's kind of hard with one hand to do it, but I'm bending it, flexing it. It goes right back. It does have some compression to it. We've already put a pair of these on our Shop Chieftain. I'm just gonna put this back right here so I don't have to worry about dropping it. So our Shop Chieftain has them in there. They work great. It gives us a little bit of spacing, which solves that issue of the magnet hitting the topper. Now, this isn't always an issue. It's just we're realizing that on the topper that sloped back, it was just, if you don't do it just up high enough, then right in the back it hits, especially when we put Capasil on it. So this right here solves that problem, no problem whatsoever. So we're starting to 3D print these and include them when people seal and port bags, just to give us a little bit of extra clearance. Plus, it gives you just a skosh more airspace in there, pulls the 10 out of the bag just a little bit. Still sounds phenomenal. On our website, you're gonna be able to see these services offered. So we're gonna offer it in different stages. So like some customers don't wanna port or seal their bags. So we can just install 10-inch rings. We can do 10-inch rings with a port. We can do 10-inch ring with the port and the topper. We can add extra fiberglass to the bags to really rigid them up. Our shop bike, we did every single wall like we did in this for Tito's bike. Sounds absolutely amazing. Makes that saddlebag super, super solid. Zero flexing. Absolutely amazing. So just want to take the time to show you all that process, what all it goes into it, so that way you all know, like, hey, this is what I'm paying for, this is what I'm getting. We're a very, very transparent company. So I just want to take the time to give you all this video. I'm going to show you our Shop Chieftain bike real quick. Our Shop Chieftain bike here. Again, these bags are done the exact same way. So super, super rigid. These ones obviously are all carpeted up. They got a little bit of dirt in them as we've been doing a bunch of stuff with the bike. And our CMB10 is down in here. It's sticking out a little bit more because we put our spacer on there, but it's got plenty of room. It's never going to hit anything down here. Lid closes as it should. So again, we just wanted to show you that. This is our bike. We got the CMB10's 2501 on here. Absolutely gets down, sounds amazing. So I wanted to show you all that. Y'all have seen enough of my mug in this video, so let's just go ahead and wrap this thing up. Again, we're offering Saddlebag Services. If you want to install the system yourself, you're just not confident in doing the fiberglass work and everything to get your bags where they need to be, reach out to us. We can provide that with the audio package. We'll be including these in the bags as well to make sure that you have all the clearance that you need. If there's anything we can do to help, whether it's an Indian, a Harley, Victory, motorcycle, period, make sure you check us out. We're more than happy to help. And if we can't, we'll point you in the direction of somebody that can. So I'm Brandon with Davidson Audio. If you're looking for the best aftermarket audio for your motorcycle, please check us out in beautiful Panama City, Florida. We offer stuff online, in person. So check us out. I'd be more than happy to help. God bless all of you. Have an amazing day, and please ride safe out there.